So Tampa's coming really soon. It's like right around the corner. And we have to keep this momentum going that we've had for the last, several months and some of us several years. We all signed up a few months ago as delegates, and that momentum is still going. So we have to keep it up in Tampa.
We have a big chance at winning, so let's keep on going. Hey! Turn your mic on.
Hi, everybody. We're not in Tampa, actually. We're down in Fort Pierce. We're in a bar right now, biker bar, and so I'm really going to be on camera much. Thanks, sisters, for keeping it up.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, they're staying a few hours away from Tampa right now for the next couple days, and then they'll come back up for Paul Fest and everything else. So, Jason Rink should be coming on soon. If you don't know about Jason Rink, you can go to jasonrink.com. He wrote a couple books and was the producer for the documentary Nullification. So he should be on in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, Paul Fest tickets will go back to the normal pricing when you go to the door there. So if you want to get the buy one get one free pricing, you have to buy it before then. Other than that, so if you want to get a good deal, buy it before you get there. We'll also be giving away 2 free passes tonight. We'll put up the link to enter that in just a few minutes. Turn my sound off just a second. I'm going to turn this off. To enter the raffle for the Paul Fest tickets, it's raffle.ronpaultribune.com. And anybody can enter, and then we'll draw near the end of the show. You have any words you want to say? I guess she's mute tonight. Let me turn up my volume. Okay. Is that better? Okay. Let me find out where Jason Rink is. Just a second. In the meantime, John, could you play one of Jordan Page's music videos? And remember to enter the raffle at raffle.ronpaultribune.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Light of Revolution.
Okay.
Have you heard the people calling who are hungry in the night? Have you heard the prayers of soldiers who are weary from the fight? Have you heard the voice of wisdom in a time of pure deceit? Have you heard the path to freedom is the road you rise to meet? Have you heard the bonds of slavery are forged with paper chains? And the red sun that is rising sets on all of us the same. Unless we stand together now, we all will surely fall. And I heard the call in the words of Dr. Paul. Have you ever seen a country bent and broken on its knees? Or a line 10 miles long of hungry homeless begging please? Or a banking institution funding both sides of a war? Or its chairman spouting lies upon the House committee floor? Have you ever seen a talking head on television sway? The people through deception telling lies to earn his pay. Oh, can't you feel the ground shake? These institution walls, well, I'll watch them fall when I stand with Dr. Paul. Now let the people learn to reason. Now let them stand up on their own. Now let the light of revolution bring it home. Now let the rights of man come shining bright and self-evident and true. And let each one of you be counted as you stand for the one who stands for you. Well, they say the truth is treason in the empire of lies, that the enemies of freedom are all cleverly disguised in temples made of marble where the corporations reign, and the only ones who benefit stand far above the pain as the people battle poverty, depression and disease, and a crisis turns to meltdown and the liquid starts to freeze. But the printing press is roaring, leaving trillions in its wake, and history won't forgive those who don't learn from their mistakes, as the rights of individuals are stripped down more and more, and we all can finally see the hidden face behind the war. Unless we stand together now, this fate will touch us all. We stand free and tall as we march for Dr. Paul. We march for Dr. Paul. We march for Dr. Paul. Whoa.
Outstanding, Jordan. Thank you so much. Please, keep the guitar with you, man. Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, sorry about the issue there with the entry. It should be fixed now. Refresh your pages.
Alright, so here's his little music video. Jason Rink is still trying to figure this out. He had to download something, so he'll be here in a few minutes. Remember to go to the raffle.ronpaultribune.com to enter the page. And I think we have 4 tickets to give away now. So, Paul Fest is in how many days? 4 days? Wait. I don't know. But, so is everybody ready? Gotta get there. I don't know how many days. I've lost count. So Kenosha is in Tampa, and there's an article that Steve Dixon wrote about the hearing today. Both sides told their story. The Oklahoma delegates presented their case really well, and then Matt Pinnell and Mark Nuttall presented the other side of the case, and so the committee will find out. We'll decide in a couple days, hopefully. Hey, Kogi, Kenosha, sorry. If you want to tell anybody what happened today, that'd be great. Can you guys hear me okay? I can hear you all right. Yeah. Well, we had our hearing today in the Committee on Contest. The Oklahoma side, well, I should say, we presented our oral argument first, and then Oklahoma GOP presented their case. They had a bunch of lies. We had a really strong case, but they don't care about the rules. So we'll see what happens. I don't really know. We should know by Wednesday. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I'm gonna have to log off. I can't do much here. We can hear you just fine. My mic is all the way up. Yes, we're at Archie. Someone asked. I can hear you if you just talk really loud. Okay, I'll try to talk really loud. We presented our oral argument. They presented theirs, and that's where it stands until we wait. Is that a good enough summation? Thanks. That was good. Jason Ring is still having problems getting in this room, so let me see if I can help him get in here. If you want to play another one of Jordan Page's music videos, that'd be good. Thanks.
Sons, as I write you this letter, of days past and days yet to come, and the message of freedom, the message of freedom. I stand at the edge of the pages of history and lessons unlearned. It feels like these pages are remaining unturned, but boys, it's no mystery. Children, I'm sorry to leave you this world in a state of disaster. It was given to me in a similar state, but I woke up so late in the game, now spiraling faster. 'Cause freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of something more. As God is my witness, I'll be a slave no more. Boys, listen close, for our souls may depend on the actions we take and the causes we choose to defend. So treat every man as a friend, and live your own lives in their divine processions, and transform your world with your selfless expressions. Reach out your hands, in time we'll understand. Children, one day I'll be gone, and you'll have to remember these words and be strong as you cling to each other, your family, your faith, and your father's song. You've known this all along. Well, freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of something more. As God is my witness, I'll be a slave no more. endured every tyrant or second-rate despot the world's ever known, and for one simple reason, the people have kept it alive. And with no end in sight to the level of violence that men in high places will sink forth to silence the will of the people. In you it must survive. But freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of something more. As God is my witness, I'll be a slave no more. Well, freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of something more. As God is my witness, I'll be afraid no more. Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, to be purchased with chains from our necks to our feet? Forbid this, Lord, I know not what is left. Give me liberty, or give me death.
So Jason Rink still can't get on. So Jordan Page should be here in a couple minutes. I'll have my sister tell you something. Is everybody excited about this next week? I am. We're leaving tomorrow night at sometime like 11:30 or 10:30 or 11:30 or something. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions for us right now while we have downtime? Or we have the go enter the raffle at raffle.ronpaultribune.com. We will be asked. You can enter the raffle once that way, and we'll be asking some questions like we did last week for another chance to get entered into the raffle if you get the answer right. Tell our plan for Tampa. Our plan for Tampa. I think we plan on arriving in Florida Wednesday night, and then we'll be heading to Tampa Thursday, and we are planning on going to Paul Festival, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're planning to go to the Ron Paul Sun Dome event on Sunday. Then how many people are included? About 10 of us, I think. Well, in our truck, there'll be 5 of us. In our truck, there'll be 5. And then some are already down in Tampa. And then another truck will be leaving on Thursday or Friday. Yes, and everybody knows it's Ron Paul's birthday today, probably. Yes, and we plan on streaming at Paul Fest, the Sundome Rally, and the RNC. Why is he looking? The truck that's leaving tomorrow will be Trent, Saria, Nariah, and myself, and we're picking up a delegate in Arkansas to take with us. Yep. Jordan Page should be on in just a few minutes. See the question at the top of the thing? If you answer the question right, then you'll have another chance to win a Paul Fest ticket. Anybody have any other questions while we're waiting? The best experience so far? Well, I went to the Oklahoma State Convention and Arkansas and then Nebraska. She went to Texas as well. I think Texas was the best convention so far. it was the most, it was run real smooth, and it was really exciting, I guess, would be the best way to put it. Arkansas was not fun, and Nebraska was good. Arkansas was not fun. Well, it was fun in a sense, I guess. After Tampa, we're just planning on keeping doing what we're still doing. So keep the show going, and if there's any political events that we decide we should go live stream, then we're kind of random people that will just go anywhere. We don't have any events planned already, but I'm sure we'll probably think of some. Sorry, everybody. I have no idea what happened. We're having lots of technical difficulties tonight, I guess. Of course, when Kadosha's gone. Things happen that way. Hi, Trina. Still can't hear. If you try turning up your volume, because my volume is pretty loud. I'm not sure what the problem is there. So. And the tickets, you can enter for the tickets at raffle.ronpaultribune.com. If you don't buy a ticket before the day of Ron Paul of Paul Fest, then the tickets will go back to the normal price, and there will be no buy one get one free. Right now, there's a buy one get one free. So if you buy a 3-day pass, it's $35 each, basically. So. Yeah. Jason Rink is here, I think. Yes, he is here. If somebody can approve him, I'm not very good at this. Okay, there you go. You got it. Woo! You made it! Finally.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
Well, good to have you on finally.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Well, look, I got a picture of Ron Paul back here. I'm getting out of the way so you can see him. There he is on my wall.
Cool.
What's going on?
Well, it's good to see you. Are you going to be in Tampa?
Yeah, I'm heading out on Thursday.
Cool. Are you speaking at Paul Fest, right?
Yep, I'm speaking on Friday afternoon, and I'll be there all weekend.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, how about you start out by telling us, if you want to mute your mic while you're not talking, it might be better.
Okay.
If you want to start out by telling us who you are, I told my mom that I had Jason Rink on the show, and she asked me like 3 times, who in the world is Jason Rink? So, how about you just give us, I was at, when you came to Oklahoma City in May, I was at that rally there that you spoke at, and it was pretty interesting, your story. So if you just want to tell us your story, that'd be great.
Cool. Well, yeah, I got involved in Ron Paul's campaign in 2008 in Ohio. And I started Ron Paul Meetup. And Ron Paul basically changed my life because I didn't do anything political before that. And since then, I started an organization in Ohio, and now I'm in Austin, Texas. And I wrote a book on Ron Paul, and I made a movie on nullification, and I've been speaking at events, and I'm speaking at Paul Fest. And so I'm just a regular guy, regular grassroots guy who wanted to get involved and wanted to use my talents and abilities to further the message of freedom, basically.
Cool. So I think from what I remember, you Googled Ron Paul. Is that how you found out about Ron Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. I had heard, I don't know how I really first heard about Ron Paul, but it was like March of 2007, and I Googled Ron Paul, and I started reading about him and what he said, what he thought, what he believed, and I was just kind of a typical conservative Christian Republican at the time, but I didn't know why I believed what I believed. I just kind of believed it because that's what everybody believed that I knew. And once I started reading about Ron Paul, reading his positions on foreign policy, started discovering what he believed about monetary policy and economics, I just felt like Ron was really speaking to what I believed already. And so it felt like he was just articulating things that I'd already believed but I'd never heard anybody talk about. And so once he started doing that, I just realized, I just felt like an obligation to help him get his message out there. And so I just decided randomly to see if there's other Ron Paul supporters in Ohio at the time, and I paid $19 and started a Ron Paul meetup. And in the 2007-2008 campaign year, things just totally exploded. Things were going crazy. We were doing sine waves. We were doing events, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I just was trying to motivate people to get out there and get the word out. And so that's just what started it for me. And everything that's happened since then has just been an outflow of my passion to want to get the message of liberty out to people, because most people just don't understand the message of personal liberty, freedom, sovereignty, the ideas of federalism, and the founding principles that Ron Paul stands for.
Cool. So what could you tell us a little about the documentary and the books that you've written?
Here's the documentary. It's called Nullification. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're just frozen for a second. I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I made a film called Nullification. It's about the 10th Amendment. I did it in conjunction with the 10th Amendment Center and with Tom Woods, who helped work on this film. It's all about what the states can do to fight back against the encroachments of the federal government on states' rights. And in fact, Jordan Page contributed a song to this movie as well, who I know you're going to be having on again later. But, you know, I believe that what the Ron Paul movement needs to do is, after this election, we need to take our eyes off of the federal government to a certain degree. We need to go back to our states, and we need to work to get state legislators in our state houses who understand the fact that the federal government has no right to regulate 90% of what they regulate on a daily basis, and we need to start nullifying unconstitutional laws. States need to refuse to comply with those laws, as Thomas Jefferson and James Madison encouraged us to do. So nullification, I believe, is really the next step. I think it's the best strategy. It's all about decentralizing power and not looking for somebody to rescue us at the federal government level.
Definitely agree with you there. What changes have you seen since 2008 in the Liberty Movement?
The Liberty Movement has definitely matured, and I think people understand that we've got to do more than just say what we believe as loud as possible. We have to find ways to get our message into the popular culture. We need to find ways to use popular culture, music, media, film, to get ideas out there. I also work for a production company here in Austin called Emergent Order, and the team behind the Keynes versus Hayek rap videos, I don't know if you've seen those, but we're trying to produce a lot of really cool media to get these ideas out there that people will watch and think about. So I think the movement has matured in that sense, that we understand we need to be more strategic about how we evangelize people in the ideas, and we realize that we also have to get involved at the grassroots level, just boots on the ground campaigning and getting the right people in office at the local and state level. And then I just think we're also winning because we're seeing more national figures using Ron Paul's talking points and talking about the Federal Reserve and talking about the wasteful spending on our foreign policy and all of these things. So that's what I see. I see that we planted the roots and the seeds. The book I wrote on Ron Paul is called Ron Paul, Father of the Tea Party. It's a biography on Ron Paul. And I believe that he did begin the modern Tea Party. And I think we need to be the ideological check on the Tea Party to make sure that the Tea Party understands what ideas they really should stand for, even though I think for the most part the Tea Party has been co-opted by the establishment GOP.
Somebody just asked again, they probably missed it, if you will be at Paul Fest. If you want to say what days you're speaking there again, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'll be at Paul Fest all weekend. I'm going to be speaking on Friday, and then I'll be at a table with the film Nullification, right along with the Oath Keepers table, Stuart Rhodes, who's also speaking there. And come and see me, because I'm also going to be doing some interviews with attendees for a potential upcoming documentary film. So come out and see me and tell me your story.
Cool. What would you tell somebody that is, considering the state of our country and the upcoming convention, what would you say to a fellow Ron Paul supporter?
Great question. I would say all that you need to do is figure out what you can do for the revolution. Some people write, some people broadcast radio shows, make films, speak, but other people are just more effective at one-on-one liberty evangelism, just spreading the message one-on-one with their friends and neighbors. Or some people have in a place of business. People are business owners. I really just think we've got to figure out what talents and gifts we have, what resources we have that we can lend, because I think what we're responsible to do is we're responsible to reach out to our sphere of influence, the people that are in our lives that we can impact and change their minds. This is a battle that we win one mind at a time, and we look for those small, encouraging signs as more and more people join this movement. I mean, this movement is 4, 5, 6 times bigger than it was in 2008, and it continues to grow, and younger people continue to grab onto these ideas. So I think we're winning the future. I think we've won the future. I think we just need to continue to get out there and employ our talents and abilities the way that we can, and however we can most impact the cause of liberty.
Cool. Somebody asked, how did the Tea Party get co-opted by the neocons, and how can we take it back?
It got co-opted by the neocons just because, people are tribal by nature, and people who don't examine their political paradigm, and people who just believe whatever the mainstream media tells them, they want to find a winning team to root for. And the Liberty Movement is not a winning team in the short term. It is in the long term. And I think really it was just sheer numbers. Once the GOP understood that there was a movement afoot, they had to figure out how they could keep it from getting too radical. And so you had organizations and individuals step into it. They understood what was happening at the grassroots level, and they were able to lift the rhetoric, the less radical portions of the rhetoric, wave around the Constitution and get a lot of people to sort of follow them. I think just because, again, we are tribal by nature, and it's us versus them. It's my team versus that other team. The way that we get it back, I think it's not that we have to get the Tea Party back. These movements come and go, but I think that once somebody latches on to Ron Paul's, truly constitutional point of view, don't abandon it. And we aren't teaching people how to vote on an issue. What we're doing is we're giving people a lens through which they can view reality. And that lens through which we view reality is all about the non-aggression principle. It's all about live and let live. I will do whatever I want to do to further my goals in my life as long as I don't interfere with your person and property. And that's the golden rule. Jesus taught it. I mean, it's a universal truth. So all we have to do is stay true to our message, and the sheer numbers will be on our side.
Yep, I agree with you there. From what I remember from your Oklahoma City speech was you used to be a youth pastor and then you left it and started writing books for Ron Paul or something. You want to tell us that story?
Yeah, I used to be a pastor. I helped plant a church with another pastor, and I was for about 3 years. And one of the things Ron Paul really challenged me on was, many Christians are conservative Christians who are totally pro-life when it comes to the unborn, but when it comes to men, women, and children of other nationalities, specifically in the Middle East, they don't seem to really care, especially when it's the United States who's bombing and destroying those people. And I just saw this major contradiction. I was like, why would I support sending a missionary to the Middle East to evangelize people, with the gospel, but then also cheer on U.S. military intervention in that same country, which is destroying lives, in which, as I began to investigate it, destroying the church was making the church in the Middle East more persecuted than it was. So I examined that issue. I examined how in many Christian conservative circles, they want to legislate social issues. They want to use state to get people to adopt their own beliefs. So, I started examining the gay marriage issue. I started examining all of these other issues and just realized that using the state to accomplish any so-called moral goals, trying to implement my own morality on somebody else was totally wrong. It wasn't right in accordance with the scripture. It wasn't right in accordance with the Constitution. And so that's what I began to see. So I'm very passionate about wanting to see other Christians sort of have their eyes open to what I see as this more libertarian truth that I think is more in keeping with the golden rule and more in keeping with the teachings of Jesus. I often say, if Jesus wasn't a monarch, he'd be a libertarian, because I think his teachings were very libertarian about how we should engage with one another.
Good story. Anything else you want to tell everybody before Tampa? Think and hope I should say Ron Paul will get the nomination. What if he doesn't? Are you going to write him in?
Listen, here's all I know. I know in 2008 I went to the Rally for the Republic in St. Paul, Minnesota, and it was amazing. And there was like over 12,000 people at that event. And the Sun Dome only holds like 12,000 people. And this is 4 years later. So I think there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people who show up for this Ron Paul event after on Sunday, the one that Ron's going to be at. I think that's going to be an amazing event. I think the media is going to cover it. And I think All Fest is going to be a great event for the hardcore Ron Paul supporters to meet, connect, and strategize about where we're going. You know, I don't think Ron Paul is going to get the nomination from the floor. I would love to see that happen on one hand. On the other hand, I don't necessarily want Ron Paul to become president because I think the economy is going to collapse, and I think there would be a lot of ways that the establishment can sort of mar the philosophy and name of Ron Paul through the collapse of this unsustainable system. So that's a story for another day. Presidency in order to take this movement to the next level. And I think what's going to happen in Tampa is we're all going to get some marching orders, not necessarily from Ron Paul, but from each other. The ideas and the relationships that come out of this event are going to carry us to the next level in moving liberty forward. So here's hoping Ron Paul gets the nomination. Here's hoping that they let the delegates in, and here's hoping that they make a huge amount of racket in support of Ron Paul there.
Yep. Well, the delegates that I know plan to. So, you got any other? What was that?
I was gonna say no. I mean, just again, I think it's encouraging that like you're doing what you're doing, that everybody is out there in their own way doing their own thing, and all of us doing our own thing in our own way sort of works together to create this larger movement that moves the ball down the field. So I don't care how it happens. I just think if we all go do our part, we don't have to worry about if anybody else is doing their part. We just do what we're called to do, and the results are going to follow. I've been watching this movement for almost 6 years now, and I'm amazed at how far we've come. So let's just be encouraged, and let's celebrate this week about what we did accomplish this year, because Ron Paul could not be ignored this year, and he was in 2008. And I'll just say for Trina Burfield, yes.
When are you arriving in Tampa? I'm not sure if I already asked you that or not. Well,
when am I going to, did you say when am I going to Tampa? I'm going to Tampa on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll be there the whole 5 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, come and check it out. Just, I hope people come see me and come talk to me. I want to meet as many people as I can.
Cool. Sounds good. You have any last words for anybody on the show?
Keep the revolution going, people. We're not going away, and we're going to win. In the end of the day, after this campaign is passed, after the campaign is passed in 2016, 2020, the history books are going to remember what happened here because of what happens over the course of the next 15 to 20 years. The under 30 crowd, they are coming to our side in droves, and they're going to be the largest voting bloc in America in 20 years. So I think we've won already.
Yep. Yeah, we plan on being there, live streaming the whole Paul Fest and Sundome and the RNC and stuff, so should be cool.
Cool.
Jordan Page should be on here in a few minutes. So if you have anything else you want to say, feel free to say it.
Yeah, I want to encourage everybody on this stream, if they aren't familiar with Jordan Page's music or if they haven't bought Jordan Page's Liberty CD, it's awesome. You got to check out Jordan. I've seen him 5 or 6 times live, puts on a great show. So even if you can't get out to Tampa, try to get Jordan to come to your city because he totally is just awesome. And he's putting the word of liberty out there with great music. And again, he's doing the mission that I'm talking about, that we need to get the liberty message into the culture. We need to do it through music and film. That's all. Thanks, guys, for having me on. I'll do it anytime.
Yeah. Thank you for being on, Jason. Hey, Jordan, how you doing?
Can I just say I love Jason Rink? Can I just say I love Jason Rink? Jason Rink is the man. Let there be no doubt about it. Jason Rink is the man.
Thanks, buddy. I'll see you in a couple days, man. I think we're staying in the same house.
We are. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you, brother. Everybody check out nullificationmovie.com. Nullification, the film Jason made is the definitive work on the subject, and anybody who wants to understand some powerful, real tools to undoing a lot of the federal tyranny we experience on a daily basis needs to watch Jason's movie to understand the process and what you have to do to get your state legislators to grow some balls. So, and say no to the feds. So, Jason Rink, thank you for making nullification, and thank you for being such a badass for liberty, man. God bless you. Fucking love this guy.
Thanks for having me on. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for being on. See you in a few days. How you doing,
What's up,
Jordan?
ladies? I'm good. What's up, ladies? How you doing?
Doing good. Good to have you on.
Good to be here.
When are you going to be in Tampa?
I show up on Saturday. I'm going to be in Atlanta Friday night or Friday afternoon for Ron Paul stock, and then I'm going to go. I'm staying the night, then I fly to Tampa Saturday, and I stay till Wednesday. Got a bunch of shows happening. Can you guys hear me? Okay? Okay, the people in the chat room can hear me.
Oh, sorry. I can hear you. It's
Okay.
a little bit slow every now and then, but so I'm sure most people know who you are, but there might be a few people around, including people in my house. So how about you tell us how you got involved in the Liberty Movement?
Well, I was pretty much commanded by God to join this movement. It all started with a song that I was given very quickly in the middle of the night, and song changed my life because I didn't know what it was about, and then I had to figure out what it was about. So I started doing research and discovered that the world as I knew it didn't exist. Started writing songs about the New World Order and became an anti-war activist pretty much the entire year of 2007. Then I learned about Ron Paul toward the end of that year, beginning in 2008, and was invited to perform at the Revolution March in July of 2008 in front of the Capitol building on the Mall in D.C. Met Ron for the first time, and that was his last event for his campaign, and that was my very first event. And I kept the torch burning since then, and I tour all 50 states, and I write a lot of music that's just extraordinarily critical of, you know, the establishment, the status quo, whether it's political or religious or even just social norms or whatever. I question it all. I put it all on the chopping block to have the fat trimmed off, and I'm just I'm here to liberate people's minds and free them from the false paradigms they were born into, and I've opened for Ron Paul about 13 times. This coming weekend, I'll have it'll be at 14 and 15 because I'm doing some events for him this weekend as well as Paul Festival. I'll be at Paul Festival on Saturday at 7 o'clock that night, and then I'm doing the Sundome event on Sunday, and then I've got another show with the band called Rebel Inc. They're from Baltimore. They're like a hardcore revolution rock band, and we're doing that at the Blue Ship Cafe in Ybor City in Tampa on Tuesday night. Liberty Underground is sponsoring that show.
Cool, sounds great. We plan on live streaming again your music, so like we did in Texas. So, were you a musician writing music before this whole Liberty Movement and Ron Paul, or did this get you started?
No, I've been playing music since I was 12 years old. I had albums and I toured, and I was, you know, making a living being a regional touring singer-songwriter and guitar player in a rock band. But when this all happened, I was already an accomplished songwriter and performer, but this just made me take it to a level I never imagined. You know, I always knew I was supposed to do something good rather than self-serving with my music, and uh, it wasn't until about all this stuff that I saw what the grand purpose was. And you know, Ron Paul wasn't what got me into it. He just validated all the things that I had learned already and the conclusions that I'd come to. And it's interesting because I didn't have to, you know, alter anything about what I feel or what, you know, my message in order to be in pretty much sync with Ron. We just see things the same way in most cases. Not in every case, but in most cases. Somebody's asking me, John Yoen is asking how I came up with the lyrics for Pendulum. I wrote that's the song I'm talking about. I wrote that in the middle of the night. I had a nightmare about George Bush on December the 1st of 2006, and I woke up and walked into my office with my eyes half asleep, and I just wrote it down. I just typed half asleep, and then I read it afterwards. And it shocked me because I didn't understand it completely. I understood some of it, but I was fairly politically illiterate at the time, and it really opened my eyes. I was awake after I read it for sure. The next morning, my wife told me that well, she woke up and she saw the piece of paper because I printed it out, and she said, "What the hell happened to you last night?" I said, "I had a visitation, you know," and the song really scared me, to be honest with you. I didn't want to play it live, but I was encouraged to play it live, and I finally did. And I was sure people were going to boo me off the stage, but they stood up and applauded. It was a sold-out show I played it for, and it showed me that people felt this way, and that I needed to know my song before I really started singing it. And so, you know, that's how that all happened. What made me want to remake The Wall is a question from Carlos. What's up, Carlos? I know you. You know, I've always been a huge Pink Floyd fan, and I was, you know, when I was playing bars doing cover songs like years ago, I used to do the Wall medley as the actual song. And Adam Kokesh is a good friend of mine, and he ran for Congress in '09. And I was thinking, you know, I was going out to New Mexico to do an event for him and for his kickoff for his campaign, and I thought to myself, I was in the airport thinking, what could I do to just knock their socks off? And then I heard that music in my head, and I said, okay, so I rewrote some lyrics, and the original one was, you know, it was for Adam Kokesh. Yeah, the first time I did it, it was for Kokesh, but then, you know, I kind of retired it for a few years, and then when Ron decided to run again, I revisited it again and rewrote it again, and it's become, you know, fairly popular thing. But it's only something that I do live. I've never recorded it. I don't plan to, but that's how it all worked out.
Well, what's your most popular song?
Probably Liberty. You know, that's another one. That's another one of those Ron Paul songs. You know, and that's another one of those songs that happened like Pendulum. It just kind of came out. I probably, you know, it's had quite a few views on YouTube, and I've gotten you know, quite a big online response to that song. It's the title track of my album. And it's the one that I get the most fan mail about. You know, people tell me all the time that it's the song that like woke up their wife or their best friend, or you know, or it's the one that like you know, encouraged them to do their research. And that's really cool. You know, people letting me know that. And you know, I wrote that song after I did a show at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and there was a the professor there who saw my show, and he told me that I needed to stop, or did not stop, but I needed to not just write finger pointing songs. I needed to write some songs that asked the right questions, because questions is what really convinces people, because they are able to then answer those questions for themselves. You don't take credit for the conversion or for the opening of that mind, but who the hell cares about taking credit for that? You know, it should belong to each individual person. You know, if somebody comes over to the liberty movement because of something that I did, and then I screw up in their estimation, then they may start to question the very truth that set them free. So I'd rather they figure it out for themselves. So I went home that night and I just typed a bunch of questions, and again, it was like 7 minutes. And Liberty originally had 4 verses and choruses. Now I cut one because to keep it from being 7 minutes long. But people have really identified with that song because it really addresses the typical sort of feeling like I'm only one person. What can I do? How can I affect change if I'm just alone in this? And the whole point of the song is you're not alone. There are millions of us. And even if you were, all you have to do is open your mouth and you can bring another person in, then you're 2, and so on and so forth. So I think Liberty's probably my most popular one. And also Pendulum got pretty well known. Listen, actually, the new version of Listen that I did, the original was an acoustic sort of tribal drum version. The new electric version on the new album spent 3 months at #1 on Clear Channel, iHeartRadio. So that got a lot of attention, got a lot of radio play. So Message of Freedom is a new song on the new album as well that's been pretty popular. And so those 4 I think are the most popular songs I've done.
Yeah, Liberty is definitely one of our favorites here.
Oh, thanks. Mountain Lion says Light a Revolution, that she likes that one. That song, somebody asked me if I'd write a campaign song for Ron, and I was like, I don't know if I can. It's not like clockwork. It happens when it happens. But I just sat down and I started, again, asking questions. Can you hear the people calling who are hungry in the night? Can you hear the prayers of soldiers who are weary from the fight? And I said, okay, here it comes. And that song really wrote itself. I know it's really brought a lot of people in. I get a lot of mail about that song too, actually. So. And I know that Ron really loves that song. I've played it for him about 5 times now, and he really appreciates that, and he's told me that he really enjoys it. So it must be cool to have somebody write a song about you, and like sing it in front of thousands of people. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. What would you say to somebody who is in the Liberty Movement, considering the convention and the state of our country right now? What would you say?
Oh boy, that's a question, huh? I think people just need to figure out what their priorities are. A lot of people have become very, very downtrodden recently for a lot of different reasons. And people need to remember that, first of all, why they got into this movement in the first place. Was it because of Ron Paul, or was it because of Ron Paul's ideas and his example? And which are 2 different things. He's a human being, and he makes mistakes, and he is fallible, and he's not a demigod. He's a human being, and it's unfair to him for us to put unfair expectations on him. However, the ideas he's promoted and the ideas he's lived and believed in and has exemplified, will live on beyond him. And we are his legacy, not Rand Paul. Like this movement is his legacy, and we owe it to ourselves to keep fighting. So anybody who's not going to Tampa because of anything that's been announced from the campaign that they disagreed with, or anything that other people have done connected to Ron Paul, they need to reevaluate their priorities and remember that Ron has been an example for us, you know, and now we are the examples. We are the leaders. We are the ones who are taking over and changing the political landscape. So anybody who's not going to Tampa needs to, you know, reevaluate that position and show up and go to Paul Fest. Yeah, that's right. Bus. Patty's for Ron.
That's those from my family that can go are go. Somebody has to stay home and take care of the ranch, though.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
I think everybody needs to prepare themselves for a post-Ron Paul America, you know, and just keep going. You know, I can tell you all without hesitation, even if Ron were the President of the United States, I would still be protesting because would not be able to single-handedly change every bad thing that's out there. You know, these things take time. And it's going to take a valiant and concerted effort on our part to resist the things that are happening. You're going to get another 4 years of Obama. You know, Ron clearly doesn't want the nomination. You know, they've made that clear. So let's all just, you know, kind of like take the ideas and run with them. Because there's so many of us now that it can't be stopped. You know? I mean nothing Ron does, or nothing anybody in the campaign, or nothing anybody in the movement does is says is going to stop what has been born in the last 6 years in this country. You know, you have an army of libertarian activist leaders now. That's a powerful thing. So everybody just needs y'all need to just buck up and stick with it, man. You know, I mean, I'm in the process of planning, you know, some major tours, and someone asked about Albuquerque earlier. Yes, I'd love to come to Albuquerque. We were trying to get a show put together for that, like last year, never happened. Like, put it together and I'll show up. Tatiana Moroz and I have become very good friends, and we are now like booking tours together. And I'm also going to be putting some tours together with my full band and some other Liberty bands and mixed genres, hip hop, rock, folk, country, what have you. You know, we're gonna be, you know, touring in full force. So keep your eyes open for that, and keep organizing, keep putting on events, keep inspiring people to fight for this stuff. You know, I mean, that's what I have to say. Don't give up. You know, don't give up if your idols fail you, or if the people that you look up to screw up in your eyes. It doesn't mean that what they said or what you believe is not valid. All it means is that they're a human being, have a difference of opinion or perspective, or maybe, you know, somewhere along the line people make mistakes. So just push on through. You know why you got involved in all this. So keep doing it, because we are getting somewhere. I think it's pretty clear we're getting somewhere with this, but it takes time. So that's what I got.
Yep. Takes time. Good. Thank you. Somebody was wondering how they could is the best way to contact you.
By email, jordanpagemusic@gmail.com is my email. JORDANPAGE. Here, I'll type it into the chat room here. Hang on.
Hey, Jordan. How are you doing?
There you go. You can email me there.
All right, cool. Anything else? We have to give away a few tickets in a second, so anything else you want to say before you leave?
Tell Kadosha I said hi.
What was that?
Jordan. Jordan.
I said, tell Kadosha, your sister, I said hello. And tell your brother not to evangelize at me anymore next time I see him.
Jordan, I'd like to utilize you while you're here.
All right, I'm on.
All right, I want you to pick a number 1 through 18.
1 through 18? Oh, there he is right there. Look at that guy. He's trouble, man. That guy's trouble. All right, 1 through 18. We're going to pick number 9.
All right, Soraya, pick a number 1 through 18.
5.
Easy.
Wait. 8.
Pick another number.
Yeah. 3.
Okay. Jordan, another number.
16.
All right. First winner, picked by Jordan Page, Liberty Lee. I hope you have somebody to give that to. Second winner, Soraya.
What was that, Jesse? You cut out. I think Jesse is frozen.
You should tell Jordan.
Hello? Hello? Jordan, my brother Nariah, he'll see you in Tampa.
Okay. It's on, pal.
Nariah, he says it's on. He says it's on. Jesse froze, I think, so we'll have to wait a few minutes until he gets back on. Jordan, don't leave, Jesse says he's using you, so.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say to everybody?
Man, I'm doing the best I can with what I got. That's all anybody can ask, right? So, baby's doing good. Ray's asking me about the baby. Baby's doing good. Family's good. I'm just traveling a lot and looking forward to seeing you all in Tampa. You know, I mean, regardless of what Ron's got going on, people need to come to Tampa and show the establishment that we're all here and that we're not going along with their plan. You know, that should be what it's about. You know, not putting it all on one person. This isn't about one person. One person may have inspired a lot of us, but you know, it's about this community of people who see things for what they actually are. You know, so it's all about priorities.
Yep. I was going to ask you, since 2008, how much change have you seen in the movement?
Oh my God, we could talk for an hour about that, Soraya. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's obviously grown. It's obviously grown. I mean, I've seen a difference in the mainstream since then. You know, back then, no one talked about the Federal Reserve except for people like us. You know, nobody knew what it was. Now it's a part of the national conversation. Almost everybody has heard of it. They know what it is. You know, Ron said it himself back. You know, I was with him in Las Vegas back in, what was it, January, February? And he said the mainstream is moving towards us. We're not becoming more mainstream. You know, this message isn't becoming mainstream. The mainstream is moving closer to where we're at. And I think that's, you know, a pretty indicative situation. I'm very proud of all that we've accomplished. You know, I've seen a lot of infighting though. I've seen a lot of groups not, you know, working together, which is disappointing. But I know I've come a long way as a person, as an activist, as a liberty-minded person. You know, there are some flags that I was waving then that I'm not waving now. But I've seen people grow and get better at what they do. You know, I do a lot of events with some of the really big names in the movement, and they're you know, they've all come along. We all come a long way. You know, like learning as we go, learning as we do this. You know, and just getting more confident in what and how we say what we're saying and being more effective. I've been really excited about all the innovations in independent media. People like Luke Radowski and Adam Kokesh and David Franchi, you know, and the Fish Sisters. And it's really cool to see all these, you know, new independent journalists starting their own shows, and you know, look at all these people we have in the chat room who are taking part in this. I mean, this didn't exist before, and now it does, and I'm really happy to see all that going on.
Cool. The winners for the tickets, I don't know if Jesse's coming back or not. Ah, here he is.
Hey, I just wanted to make an announcement. It looks like Ron Paul's event at Ferg's or whatever it was in St. Pete has been moved to Liberty Rocks Beach Party. And there's the link right there. Make sure you register.
That's correct. The Sundome event and the after party are going to feature myself and Amy Allen and Jimmy Vaughn and John Popper from Blues Traveler. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. But make sure you support Paul Fest. You know, Paul Fest is for the grassroots. It's for the people who've been supporting Ron Paul all this time. You know, and you know, I'm psyched for the Sundome and all that. I'm you know, that's kind of like this coming weekend is really like the apex. You know, the culmination of the last 6 years that I've spent, you know, rocking out for liberty. And you know, but I really want to see each event, you know, be successful. So I want to encourage everybody to hardcore support Paul Fest and come and enjoy the Sundome rally as well.
Sounds great. Thank you for being on, Jordan.
Thank you, Sarai. Good to see you. See you in a few days.
See you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Anybody that won the tickets, email Jesse at ronpaultribune.com. The ticket winners were Liberty Lee, Luis, Marshall, Daniel, Peter Barron, and Sean Coffey. So congratulations. I think that's it for tonight. We'll see you all in a few days. I have lots to do since I'm leaving tomorrow night. So we do plan on live streaming the events. So you can catch us at our blog at libertyliveblogteam.wordpress.com, or our Facebook page is Liberty Live Stream Team. It's a group, and you can find us on Facebook as well. So anyway, we'll see you all later.